Talks. Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money.
Professionals. We are impact-driven. We are CFA Society Nigeria, a member society of the CFA Institute Global Network of Societies. Our mission is to promote the highest standard of practice in the Nigerian financial services industry and provide a vibrant community for our members. The CFA Charter signals the holders' commitment to professional excellence. As thought leaders, we collaborate with stakeholders to ensure adherence to ethical standards, better education for professionals, and to build market integrity. We are the leading voice for advocacy in the finance and investment industry in Nigeria. To partner with us or become our member, visit us at cfasocietynг.org for more details. CFA Society Nigeria, making finance a force for good.
Money Talks. Money Talks.
Money Talks. Money Talks. Money Talks with CFA Society Nigeria. Let's talk about money.
Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining us on Money Talks here on 92.3 Inspiration FM. Smart Uzechi is my name. This program is brought to you by the CFA Society Nigeria. It's a financial literacy program by that organization. Today on the program, Akinbola Akintola is my guest. He's a BA Economics and MSc Finance graduate of Coventry University in the UK. He began his working career at GTI Capital, starting out as a trainee officer. Akinbola has built nearly a decade experience in financial services in both the United Kingdom and here in Nigeria, where he has participated in a number of capital raising transactions and private-public partnership projects, and now heads the investment and research department of the Pension Fund Operators Association of Nigeria, PenOp. And this evening, we're going to be talking about pension as a tool for financial well-being. Pension as a tool for financial well-being is going to be the subject of our discussion today. So let's say welcome to Akinbola Akintola in the studio. Akin, can I call you Akin?
Yeah, that's fine.
Good evening to you.
Good evening to you too.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that's for Akin in the studio here. We're going to be talking again about pension as a tool for financial well-being. So Akin, let's get the program started really. Nigeria's pension industry is a very rich industry, if you ask me, because we hear that the industry is reportedly the second largest in Africa, and it has about 16.1 trillion naira in assets under management as of May 2023 from about 10 million contributors. So tell us, this is big business with this kind of money there. So somebody may be asking, what do you pension safe? Where do you get this kind of money? You know, what exactly is a pension, and how did the scheme get to become this significant? Because this is a significant industry, 16.1 trillion naira asset.
In layman's terms, a pension is a plan that gives people who have reached retirement age who have retired a periodic income or periodic benefit payment. So once you retire, you expect some benefits per every month, or that is basically what a pension is.
Wow, it's very simple, but there's a lot of money in there, really.
Yes.
So, in doing that now, let me ask you, Aki. So, what exactly is the importance of pensions, and why should anyone actually subscribe to or contribute to a pension scheme?
Everyone plans to get old. I would assume that's correct for everyone. Everyone wants to get old. And there will come a time where you can't work because you can't physically cope with working demands, and you need some kind of income. I know in Nigeria and most of many African countries, we have this habit of depending on our children in our old age for work, but that's not reliable. Old people also deserve some income coming in, and that's what a pension does, and that's what a pension is meant to do. It's meant to ensure you have a reasonable standard of living after you retire when you're of age.
So, what about people who are not in employment? They don't have a paid job, like those who earn salary. Is there any provision for pension for such people? And if there is, how does it work?
That's a great question. So, yes, the people who dreamt up the contributory pension scheme, they realize that, people who are not in regular day jobs, or people who are entrepreneurs, who are have small businesses, they too need some kind of retirement plan. So there's what we call the micro pension. So the micro pension it's a voluntary scheme, unlike the compulsory scheme. The micro, it's a voluntary scheme. So you determine how much you put towards your pension, and the regularity of how you contribute is dependent on you. So there is something for people who do not have regular jobs. So yes. That's the micro pension.
Well, that's interesting. You two can join us in the conversation here this evening. We're talking pensions today, and whether you have a paid job 9 to 5 or not, this should interest you, because everybody, like Akin said, would like to grow old, and when you grow older, you can no longer work. Something should be working for you. Pension as a tool for financial well-being is what we're talking about on the show today. You can be a part of the program. 0700-923-923-923 is the number to call. That's 0700-923-923-923, or you can call 0817-313-6193. That's 0817-313-6193. You can also go to the website of CFA Society Nigeria, www.cfasocietynг.org. Leave messages for us there, or get more information on this and other subjects we've been talking about here on the program. So, let's go to this next step of the program, where the question to ask you now is, people actually have a lot of fears about the workability of pension schemes.
Yeah.
Especially in this country, when you hear stories about retired persons who go to queue up, many of these people are old people. You see reported in the news, some of them, they faint on pension queues, gratuity queues. Some even die, while they're waiting to collect their pensions, and all of that. Or you hear that somebody don't jackpot with the money, and that's somebody's entire life savings, gratuities, and pensions, So the question is, how safe and secure is the pension scheme? I hope I don't wake up one morning and all my retirement savings gone up in smoke.
That's not going to happen. I just want to draw distinction from the regime of pensions we currently operate, which is the contributory pension scheme, and the one we had before. So Nigeria used to do what was a defined benefit scheme, and that pre-2004. So what that was, you work for certain years, you reach a certain level at your job, then the government guarantees you some payments after you retire.
Is that the NSITF stuff that time?
Well, not really, but it was a defined benefit scheme.
Okay.
And that was completely unfunded. Now, in 2004, and for the reasons you mentioned, people carting money away, queues, the government said, this can't go on. And in 2004, the Pension Reform Act was enacted, which brought about PenCom, the regulator, as we know it now. So what happens is that pensions are administrated by private companies. Now, these are called private pension fund administrators.
Okay.
Now, but there are also pension fund custodians. So your pension administrator does not hold your funds. It's held in custody by a custodian, and that the entire process is regulated by PenCom. So that what that means is that when you say, your employer contributes on your behalf, your PFA is not holding that money. It's the pension fund custodian, the PFC, that holds that money on behalf of you, but the fund is managed by the pension fund administrator, but they don't have access to the money. They don't have access to the money. So that process, and PFCs, they give daily reports. Daily reports to the regulator PenCom, and also PenCom goes around, just regulating and also inspecting. So the funds are quite. I don't know of any situation where funds have been carted away. So the funds are guaranteed and safe.
That's quite assuring, really. The number to call 0700-923-923-923. That's 0700-923-923-923. Or you can call 0817-313-6193 if you have any questions around pensions. Maybe you've made contributions, you're having issues with your pension, you can ask questions here. Aki will be very willing to answer. Or maybe you have questions around your pension administration and all of that. It's time for you to give us a call on the program. We'll be giving limited time to call us this evening, so we can accommodate as many callers as possible. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, good evening, Captain Smart, and good evening, Mr. Aki.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Choma. I'm calling from Lekki.
Welcome, Choma.
Thank you for the wonderful explanation and clarification. But I have two questions to ask. Okay. One is, assuming someone has a job and then person now loses his job and can't contribute, while he's still scouting for another job, does the person have access to his pension? That's one. The second one is, at what age is one entitled to now start benefiting from the pension fund? Yes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Choma, for calling. That's the question there. So you might want to answer that question because I had that in mind. Actually, so she has actually pried into her script for this evening. So maybe I will just ask you that question so that in answering Choma, you can actually throw in this one. Is it only when somebody retires that one can access or benefit from their contribution in pension assets? That's one. And what about when somebody loses their job? if I lose my job, can I go to my pension account and say, please, Mona, borrow me, from that money? Because we hear every now and then that government borrows from this pension fund. So as individuals who make the contribution, can we borrow from the pension fund?
Yeah. So those were excellent questions, Chioma. So the straight answer is yes, but under certain conditions. So if the idea for a pension is that it's meant for retirement. It's supposed to help your standard of living when you retire. But this is life. Things can happen, and losing your job is one of them. So as per the regulations, and this is what happens, and you can access up to 25% of your RSA balance. RSA means retirement savings account. So every contributor has a retirement savings account. You can access up to 25% of that account after 4 months of being out of job. So if you've been out of job for 5 months, 6 months, you can access 25%. So I'll go to the other question. At what age can someone access
the pension? Yeah.
So from age of 50, you can start accessing. You can get another 25%, even if you're still in work.
Wow.
If you can.
So you don't have to retire or lose your job once you're 50.
Once you're 50, you can access a portion of your
pension.
Retirement. Yes, of your pension. So those are basically the answers. Yeah.
Okay. 0700-923-923-923, or you can call us on 0817-313-6193. Akin, this question is difficult for me to ask, but we'll have to ask anyway, because some persons will require this kind of clarification. Is there any redress actually for workers whose pensions are being deducted by the organizations and are not remitted to the pension fund administrators? We hear that all the time. People say, look, my company is taking my pension, they're deducting my pension from my salary at source, but they're not remitting this money. If this is happening, I know this is happening to a lot of people. I've worked in a place where that happened before. They just collect this money, they don't remit it, and when you resign, it becomes a problem because they don't even pay you that money. So what would people in this condition do?
First of all, it is mandatory by law for every business that has more than 3 employees to pay pensions and contribute on behalf of their employees. I think it's even worse when you deduct from someone's salary, but you don't remit, and that does happen. You're right. The PenCom has a whistleblowing mechanism, and it's completely anonymous. So you could just go to PenCom site. The procedure for whistleblowing is there, completely anonymous, and I would like to say every state in the country has a divisional arm of PenCom. You can also write to them, and they will take it up. And actually, PenCom fine companies for not contributing. And all these monies are refunded back into the RSA accounts.
Okay, we have another caller. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Captain Smart. Good afternoon to the guests in the house. I'm sorry I missed your name.
His name is Akin.
Akin. Okay, good afternoon to Mr. Akin. And my name is Mrs. M. I've been listening, not from the beginning, but I listen midway. And it's a very interesting topic and very important, if I must say, particularly at a time like this in this country, where people are out of work a lot. I heard you talk about the 4-month law that allows you to, access 25%. That is good. People need to know. But there is something that I like that I heard you say that I need you to expatiate on. You mentioned unemployed people, right? Unemployed people who desire to also have some sort of savings and actually also, you said it was mini, or I'm not sure, you called it a mini savings or something like that.
Okay.
There is one thing I know for a fact about pensions is that only a registered company can pay into the pensions account, right? So when we say some people are unemployed and they desire to have some sort of savings, let me use the word pension because that's all people have to say. But they desire to have some sort of savings so that in their later days they can have something to fall back on. Can you please expatiate on that? For the unemployed people, what is open to them? And can you also give any kind of clarification when they say that only a company can pay into this, can have access to the entire pension scheme? If someone is unemployed, then how do they have this savings? I mean, what channel do they contribute through?
Okay.
That's number one. Or that's two questions. That's one question now.
Okay.
And then, okay, let me ask you that one first. Because it's a very important question.
Oh, yeah.
And you said something about even when you get to the age of 50, you can access 25% of your pension if you are still in work. All right? Now, if you are not in work, how much percentage can you access? And then, apart from lump sum, is there possibility of accessing your pension monthly? Do people have that opportunity? Also have monthly, withdrawals? They don't want to put lump sum. Can you please talk about that as well?
Okay, Mrs. M.
Anyway, let me stop here.
Thank you, Mrs. M. Thank you very much. So, Akin, over to you.
Okay, so her first question was, I think it was about unemployed
Yeah,
people.
unemployed people.
So I think what I said is people not in regular employment, and what I mean is that your people who are not employees. So how it works, especially for the mandatory side of the pension scheme, is that it's your employer who remits on your behalf, not you doing the remitting. So if let's say my contribution, both my side and my employer, is 30,000 naira a month, it is the my employer who pays that to the PFC on my behalf. So there is no way for an unemployed person to actually remit. It is no way for an unemployed
because
person
the person is not earning any income.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, if for irregular irregular employees or people who not in regular employment, so someone who owns a business,
right?
Now, like I said, that's the micro pension. The person can contribute to the micro pension. That then the person is self-employed, can contribute by themselves into the scheme, or to contribute to their RSA accounts. I think second question
is the percentage to access.
Yes.
When you are now 50.
Yes. Okay. So
that can you also access it monthly? Is it possible? Okay, since I can access 25%, can I say pay me this money monthly? So it appears as though I'm still earning a salary when I was working.
Yeah. So I know the retirement age, mandatory retirement age in Nigeria is 60. So it's 60. Now, you have your any RSA balance that is 500,000 and lower gets a lump sum, because it's seen that if your RSA balance is too small, I mean, if it's not worth anything if you start splitting the money over time. So, but it has to get to a level, and your PFA will do this calculation for you. And I will urge all the listeners to call, because it's part of retirement planning, to call their PFAs and just ask them what's the how is this calculated. Your RSA balance has to reach a particular level for you to start getting monthly payments.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. You can also ask your questions 0700-923-923-923. That's 0700-923-923-923. Or you can call the number 0817-313-6193. That's 0817-313-6193. That's the same number you can send a WhatsApp message to as well. We have a message here that says, after the 25%, when else can one access the other funds? After the 25%, when else can one access the other funds? Number 2, this person says, can I invest with my money in my RSA? We'll now add this call to it. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening. My name is Steve, calling from Lekki.
Okay, Steve.
Just a quick one. If you are not up to 50, can you still access, and you have reached a particular threshold in terms of what you have contributed, can you still access that money from your, maybe from monthly, or can you take a lump sum out of it? If yes, what is the procedure? Thank you.
Thank you very much. So, Akin, very quickly, in 30 seconds, we'll have one more important question to ask.
There are 3 conditions for accessing that 25%. First is you've reached 50 years of age. Second is you've lost your job and you've been out of job for 4 months or more. The third is if you want to use 25% of your RSA balance to access a mortgage, and you've gotten a mortgage offer, and you can now use 25% of your RSA to pay the down payment of that mortgage. Aside that, there's no other means of accessing the 25%. I'll go back to the point I said at the beginning. A pension is meant for when you retire. It's meant to guarantee or try and help you with a standard of living when you retire, and that's the idea behind that. So aside those 3 conditions, you can't access the 25%.
Okay. So very quickly, Akin, what if somebody dies? Because we've heard instances where people have money in the bank, they die, and they come and say, letter of administration, this and that. If somebody dies, how can their dependents access their pension money? And then, is there a regulator? Because all of this money, 16.1 trillion, is there a regulator that oversees the activities of these people that are managing these funds?
Yes, so I'll answer the second part of your question first. Yes, there's a regulator. PenCom oversees all activities are regulated by PenCom. I would even say it's the most regulated industry in the country.
Wow.
Now, when someone dies, it's easy. It's easy. And this is the importance of having a will. The process is quite straightforward when you have a will. Your next of kin goes to your PFA with the will, and the PFA will ask for some documents like death certificate, police report confirming the death, and they pay. They once they have those documents complete, they pay. It's quite straightforward. They pay to the beneficiary written on the will.
Okay.
Now, if there is no will, it's kind of lengthens the process a bit, because the family will have to go to the courts. And I think there's this confusion where people think, my next of kin should
be the beneficiary.
No.
Okay.
The next of kin is not the beneficiary. So what happens if you go to the courts and they give a letter of administration, and that letter of administration, will dictate who those benefits go to.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We're out of time. If you need more information, you can go to the website of CFA Society Nigeria, www.cfasocietyng.com. smart.org and get more information for yourself right there. At this point, we are going to have to wrap up and adjourn till next Monday. But we must say thanks to Akinbola Akintola, who has been our guest on the program this evening. Aki, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Smart. Thank you, and thank you, CFA Society, for having me.
Join us again next Monday at 4:30 p.m. for a fresh package. See you then. Smart Uzechi is my name.